Hello and welcome, friends. In this video lecture, we shall discuss an important topic, that is making of the Indian Constitution. This topic is beneficial for all the competitive classes, for all the competitive exams, and for all those who want to study polity. So let's begin. The enormous task of making the Constitution was taken up by the Constituent Assembly. और ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली कब स्टार्ट हुई थी? 1946 से लेकर नवंबर 1949. Means this Constituent Assembly started its job by December 10, 1946, and this job ended by November 1949, when for the first time our independent constitution was adopted. But it was 1950. January 26, when our new constitution came into force because of some historical reasons. You shall be surprised that those who made our constitution went through a beautiful journey. And you shall be surprised that when the first draft of the constitution was prepared, more than 7,000 amendments were proposed. But actually, 2,400 amendments, more than 2,400 amendments were actually debated and discussed. And it was such a beautiful moment while the debates and discussions were encouraged, while there was a great tolerance when it comes to the criticism, while there was no imposition of endeavor, while there was no endeavor of imposition, while everybody has shown its impatience when it comes to long drawn out debates and discussions. And it was such a beautiful moment while there was no hue and cry, while there was no hustle, while everybody patiently listens to one another. And you shall be surprised that this Constituent Assembly spanned up to 3 years. Around 3 years. It had 165 days of actual work. And you shall be surprised to know that this Constituent Assembly in its first draft proposed only 315 articles and 13 schedules. But when our original constitution came into being, when the last draft or final draft of the constitution got passed, our constitution had 395 articles. Our constitution had 8 schedules. Our constitution had 12 parts. And this was a beautiful journey. No hue and cry, no imposition, no intolerance. Such a beautiful journey can only happen in a country which follows the democratic procedure. And this was just a democratic procedure. One who had gone through all the proceedings of this Constituent Assembly might have seen such a beautiful journey of making the Constitution. But what is Constituent Assembly? Actually, Constituent Assembly में कुछ extraordinary representatives होते हैं. And they are being entrusted with a task to make the constitution for the nation. It was Ivar Genix, the great constitutional expert, who talked about 3 situations when we feel the need to have the Constituent Assembly. The first criteria, the first situation was social revolution. When there comes a social revolution, somebody must be set to make the constitution for a nation. Second one, throwing away a foreign yoke, जिसमें इंडिया आता है, जिसमें इंडियन की कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली आती है. अगर किसी कंट्री ने किसी कंट्री को कब्जे में रखा है, सब्जुगेट कर रखा है, उसको थ्रो अवे करने के बाद एक कंट्री को फील होता है नाउ देयर इज अ नीड टू हैव अ कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, द टास्क ऑफ which must be to frame the constitution for an independent country. And the third one is when there comes to the fusion of states, जब छोटे छोटे नेशन आते हैं और मिलजुल कर एक बड़ा नेशन बनाते हैं, उस वक्त भी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली का काम बन जाता है वो इस नेशन के लिए, इस स्टेट के लिए एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन फ्रेम करे. But when it comes to the Indian Constituent Assembly, as it comes to the second category, because it was the Britishers which had subjugated our country, and no sooner Britishers started to hand over their power in the hands of Indians, we felt the need of having a Constituent Assembly. And for the fathers of Indian Constitution, the Constituent Assembly just was not a representative body, it was a dynamic, it was a nation on the move. That is why Pandit Nehru said that this Constituent Assembly, the task of which was not just to make the constitution, but to bring the psychological revolution in the minds of the people, to fashion its own governing system that is in the making. Thank you. Have a good day.